All right, Danny, you're on. Go.
All right. Welcome back to the BMXPERTS Podcast, take two.
Take two.
Take two. All right. This is a great night tonight, guys. Great night. We got Steve Primetime Veltman in the house. Huge guest for us. This is a big accomplishment for me and Kevin to say we got Steve on our show, because, we're factory intermediates.
We're factory intermediates, man.
Yeah. We got Brandon Shaw on. Brandon's got a lot of information to share with us on some upcoming events and some product development with Steve. Super stoked to have both of you guys on. Let's get started with Brandon. What do you think, Kev?
Yeah. Brandon, dude, what's on your mind, dude? What could we possibly talk about? I have no idea.
Well, I think it's given we're talking about BMX, but more importantly, Spoke Folk Festival coming October 11th, 2025 to Pilot Point, Texas, which is like an hour north of Dallas, Texas. So it's an old school festival. I met you at Dirty Fest, so, same kind of vibe. A little bit different. We're not California, so we don't have like 100 legends running around, but we add a little bit of flavor. We're going to have our old school BMX downhill racetrack this year. Last year we used a flat track. This year we're going all the way old school, just like at Dirty Fest. That's being built. Bringing in Joseph Carroll. If you don't know who Joseph Carroll is, he's like pretty much one of the top, in my opinion, pump track builders, dirt jump builders. He spent many years in Bentonville, Arkansas, working for their trail system. You're familiar with Bentonville, how big of a deal that is. And so we're bringing him in. We're going to have, of course, a vintage bike show. It goes without saying. Bunny hop contest, step up contest, best trick. Something we do a little different. I like to mix it up. So we're bringing in MMA fights. We'll have like about 10 rounds of 10 events. That's put on by former UFC great Stephen Ocho Peterson. So you might know that name. He'll come in and bring his guys. We got DJ James Pritchard. There's a legend. Rode for Factory GT in the heyday. Also, let's see, Supercross. Maybe a couple other brands I'm not thinking of. Stephen, you're welcome to chime in on James. Who else did he ride for? Anything else pop in your head?
I mean, at the height of his competition, I'd say it was GT.
Yeah, say no more. I mean, you're riding for the fern. That's all you got to say, right? But he'll be our DJ. We got live music. We have a live band coming in. We got 200. Now, this is kind of a play on Mike Miranda. I'm thinking of you when I say this. We got 250 exotic animals. So I searched out, found 125 acres that has a zoo on it, because Michael always talks about, like, we need a petting zoo. We need a petting zoo. So I've never let that leave my mind. We're going to have the Sunbrew models out there. If you don't know, Sunbrew was a BMX race team, but it kind of was formed by the Sunbrew bikini team. They actually started the whole BMX team for us. We got raffles for some big bike giveaways. For those who want to come in Friday, we have a pre-party. If you enter more than 5 bikes in the bike show, I'm giving you a VIP tour of Gas Monkey Garage from the famous Fast and Loud show. Richard Rawlings, good friend of the show. We actually built a bike for him not too long ago, some the folk guys here in Texas. And we're going to take you on a private tour if you got 5 bikes entered. And then after that, we're going to go to Strokers, another famous builder he's an iconic builder for choppers. His name is Rick Fairless. So they're just right down the street from each other. We'll do a tour there. We're going to then go to the Gas Monkey Live, the ice house that's world famous now. It's a new one from Richard, and have dinner there. Then we're going to run over to Tim Schaefer's for his BMX man cave that he's been building. It's really badass. So for those that stick around past Saturday on Sunday, we are going to have a bikini contest over at the world famous Strokers Ice House in the back. So wow. Come check out lots of beautiful motorcycles. We'll probably bring some bikes, display and let the people there see it. But we'll have a bikini contest. That's on Sunday. It's really not part of Spoke Folk, but it fits in because it's the same weekend of. And then the biggest news of all, and why we're probably on this show today, is because we're bringing back, with the help of my friend Mr. Steve Veltman, the Rad Kaps. The 80s, back from 1983 when a young kid, what were you, 12 or 13, Steve?
13.
13 years old, he created Rad Kaps, and it's probably one of the most iconic things in the category of, like, I don't know what, soft goods maybe? I don't know what category this is, but when you think of the 80s, there's nothing cooler than Rad Kaps, It's that category. There were donuts and stuff like mushroom grips. But we're bringing that back, and Spoke Folk is going to be the launch of that. So, Steve's got a lot of history here in Texas. He was our big guy, our Hall of Fame showpiece last year at Spoke Folk. He's our, what do you call that, the honorary chairman or something like that, guest of honor. And this year we got a surprise guest of honor. We'll announce later. But so Steve will be there. We're gonna have a bunch of Rad Cap trophies. In fact, last year our trophies, because we were in Bowie, Texas, and you've all heard of the Bowie knife. So last year Steve was actually on the award, and that was our custom-made trophies for Spoke. So this year they're gonna have a little bit of a Rad Cap theme to it. So we're pretty excited, man. We thought we should share this. And I met you at Dirty Fest. I've been a big fan of the show. I've been watching it, and now I'm kind of addicted to your podcast. So I thought I'd give you a call and take you up on the offer to come on your show.
Dude, after you called me, Brandon, I immediately called Danny. Danny, never gonna guess what's happening, bro.
Yeah, I was pretty stoked to hear about that. Definitely, man. So I like the direction that this old school racing is going now, because we have Brandon's event. You got Dirty Fest, you got Frogtown. So there's others. I know I've seen them on YouTube. They're like popping up. So it's this whole new thing. I love it, man. And the one thing I really like about the old school events is when you see younger riders, younger kids that weren't even around when we were doing this type of thing, and they're out there just riding on a traditional track and seeing what it was actually like, and it's really awesome.
Yeah, I don't have my cheat sheet, but we're definitely going to have Strider races. My big thing about when I do this is, we want to let the world experience it, not just our own group of the same guys we see every weekend at events. We want to have, I'm around a lot of motorcycle guys, Harley guys. Guess what? Back in the 80s, they rode Mongooses, Redlines, Diamondbacks. When they see this, they go berserk, man. They just lose it. So I'm like, let's get in front of people. I don't know if you guys saw, but like in 2018, I put on an actual Hell Track, the remake of Hell. Did y'all see that by chance?
No.
I think, didn't they have, correct me if I'm wrong, Barry Nobles, Caroline Buchanan, they were racing that? That was awesome. That was you?
Yeah, we put that on in 2018. I do a lot with Bill Allen, which is Crew Jones.
Yeah.
And I'm not gonna say I thought of the whole thing, but me and Joe, he's the builder. He was working at Texplex here in Midlothian, Texas. So I went and worked out the deal. We made it happen. Man, we had everybody there. I mean, there's people missing. Like, I really don't understand. Mike Miranda was missing. He told me the reason why. I can't remember what it was, but we had Bart Connor show up, Bart Taylor.
Okay.
That was unexpected. We had like Kevin Hull. We had Jose Yanez, the first guy to do the backflip. All the major players were there, like Eddie Fiola, Martin Aparijo, Bill Allen, of course, and more. I can't think of all the people right now off the top of my head, but yeah, that was really cool, man. I mean, people dropping in on that downhill slope was unreal.
The sketchiest thing I saw was you made that cereal bowl with the spoon, and they were jumping off of that thing. I was like, holy crap, you actually made that.
Well, let me give credit to Joe, and I wish I could think of his name, but Joe made that, okay? I don't want to take away from what he is. He went out there and busted his ass for 2 months to build that track and have it ready for us. It was so freaking badass. 2018, the coolest thing about the Hell Track rebuild is the way it was won. If you get a chance, go to YouTube and put in Dylan Stark 2018 Hell Track backflip. We did not know this was coming. Dylan Stark got up on the kicks bowl and waited, and he did a backflip just like Crew Jones in the movie. The two Mongoose riders had no idea this was going to happen. No one did. And he literally cut right through them without hesitation. They didn't flinch. They didn't crash or nothing. But I got this from the event. Dylan Stark signed it. All the guys were part of it. And this is and I'll explain why this is so important. This is the moto sheet, believe it or not. It's the heats right there. The reason this looks like this, they tried to stop me from doing the race. They were not going to let me do the race. And they're like, nope. I said, no, we're doing this race, man. Everyone's down. It doesn't matter. We don't have $25,000 payout or whatever they originally were talking about. And so we grabbed a board, and a buddy Jason over in Austin, Texas, and several like Todd Slot, just a lot of people helped me out. And we made this happen on the spot, despite being told do not do that. And we had the race happen. So the only ever Hell Track race in existence was in 2018. When they filmed the movie, they did it in sections. They never did a full lap. So the only one who ever really officially won that race is Mr. Dylan Stark. And
that's awesome.
Shut up. So anyway, check that out on YouTube. Back to the rest. We've done a lot of
So I'm curious on whose idea was. Were you guys? I can imagine you guys in some sort of questionable nightclub somewhere in Texas, knocking back a couple of beers, saying, "You know what, dude? You know what, Steve? I got a crazy idea. How did this whole thing come about? The relaunch
of Rad Kaps?
Yeah.
So I got to tell this. Steve's obviously a legend. He's a Texas legend, but his legend goes in Texas. There's myths about Steve Veltman, okay? And he hung around a lot of my friends I grew up with. I just happened to break my arm and elbow and got out of BMX when he came to DFW to live, okay? Now, I met Steve in person for half a second when he was like a 12-year-old kid. I saw the guy, but, that's as far as I knew Steve Veltman. I called him up and said, man, I want the greatest Texas BMXer of all time, because if you look at the accomplishments, he's got the amateur #1 cruiser and 20th title at the same time, and then he was the #1 pro. So his resume is really hard to beat in Texas. I don't know if anyone can even top it. So I wanted both folk to have the best of the best. So I brought Steve Veltman, and that's when we started talking. And the first thing I had to ask Steve about was the Vanilla Ice fight. The legendary Steve Veltman knocked Vanilla Ice out at Forest Lane at this cruising strip. And it turns out it's a myth. There's a little truth to it. There's a little truth to it, but it's not like it's said. So the legend's been going on for like 30 plus years about him knocking out Vanilla Ice, but it wasn't quite how it all went down. And not that he got knocked out, but the fight never actually happened. But it made a good story, good folklore.
Story, man.
That would have been awesome.
When I started talking to Steve on the phone, we ended up talking for literally hours, Steve, right? We just started going off, and just the story kept expanding from like, can you come to my event, to we just gotten all the details. And then we talked about Rad Kaps and about how it came about. And I'm like, dude, I've brought back a lot of iconic things, back into BMX. And this is one of the coolest things. Plus, it connects with Texas, my roots. And oddly enough, I couldn't even afford to buy a pair. I was that broke as a kid. I mean, every dollar I had went to entry fees. And, I raced around my broken down Diamondback bike that I couldn't even keep up. So that's how it started, and that's how it came about. And I've worked on some other projects with some famous people. And I was like, I need to bring back Rad Kaps. And finally, it's a year later, we're sitting here and it's actually happening.
Dude, yeah, I never bought Rad Kaps either. I just stole my friends. Those are cool, dude. So, dude, man, Steve, it's a pleasure, man. So you were telling me a little bit before we came on about the history of the Rad Cap, which I thought was fascinating, dude. Would you mind doing like a real quick recap on how it even started? Because I'm sure there's other stories out there and about the origin of the original Rad Cap. Would you mind?
No, not a problem. So yeah, I mean, like back in the day, BMX is blown up. Things are working out pretty good for me. I'd had a pretty good year, and one of the things I've always done is just tinker, and always been kind of creative and just thinking of a better wheel or whatnot, or just trying to solve problems, I guess. And so as racing, as you're these factory guys always wanting to trick bikes and stuff, to accent them with special little things is big, I mean, especially back then. So I had gone to a national event, and AVA's premier event in Phoenix, or actually in Chandler, Arizona. And I'd seen one of my competitors, Billy Griggs, who was known as back in the day as Gumby.
Yeah.
And he had got creative, and he had drilled out Gumby's crotch area and stuck it on the valve stem. So, honestly, I was like, that was pretty creative. You know what I'm saying? I'm like, I wasn't 100% behind it, but I mean, it made sense. He's Gumby, he's sporting the Gumby. Yeah, it's good. So, but that's ultimately what inspired me to think of a dice.
That is crazy, man.
Steve hit something on that. It's like in the 80s, everybody was fully into like customizing their own bike to their own taste. So, as soon as you bought a bike and it was a complete stock, the bike out of the box, the first thing you did was start tweaking it, right? And
absolutely,
valve stem caps were like one of the first things you did. Oh, let me get the anodized ones, red, blue, gold, whatever. So these Rad Kaps came out, which I was showing Steve earlier, Brandon. I actually found these the other day. They're so tiny. Wow. Sorry. So I still have mine. I definitely rock these.
Those are originals?
Yeah, way to represent. I like it.
Yeah, man. Anything that gave you like a 1-up on your friend's bikes, I'm like, yeah, but check out my valve stem caps.
Hey, were the 8 balls? Was that you or was that somebody else?
No, man. I'm 100%
Just strictly dice.
100% dice. You know,
Okay, all right.
I'm sure I sparked the thought for somebody to go 8 ball on it, and and congratulations. That's another idea. But I'm all about the dice.
That's crazy, man. That's a cool story. How did it all? Has it been going on this whole time, or did the history of the brand or the product, did it fizzle out, or what happened to it? I'm not familiar with what happened to them.
It essentially just got saturated. You know what I mean? Like, you come up with an idea like that you cannot patent because of prior art, in the patent world, meaning that somebody did something similar to that in years past, before my time. I can't help what they did in the 50s. I wasn't even around,
Right.
And so I didn't know, but anyway, it still was a great idea. And, the fact that it's been copied and repeated so often is a testament to that. And the fact that it's still a viable product today,
Yeah.
I just happen to be the one that started. I'm the OG. So I think that's another big part of why we think it's important to relaunch.
I think it'll work, Steve, because Brian Gass was selling visor risers at Dirty Fest, and I got one for me, got one for Kevin.
Yeah,
it's Brian Gass's visor riser, man. I gotta have it. And
honestly, yeah. Back in the day, if you didn't have a visor riser, you didn't even know what's up. Like, how do you even see the track in front of you?
Yeah.
It just had that cool look, the pop up, like popping your collar, man. You pop your visor.
Yeah, man.
Yeah.
Oh yeah.
Absolutely, yeah. So,
are you guys planning on making any subtle differences so people would know if they're repopped or if they're original? I'm just out of curiosity.
You want me to take that, Steve?
I have a plane flying overhead, so I need to hear that again.
I was wondering if you guys were going to make any small differences or small changes to the Rad Kaps so people know if they were original Rad Kaps from the 80s versus Rad Kaps from the 2025s.
Well, ultimately, what we'd like to accomplish initially is to make them as close as original as possible, to preserve the real history of it. Obviously there might need to be some, slight changes just because of, slight changes just for, quality of product. If I go with the original ones, like you don't even want the first ones that came off the line originally because the caps fell back out. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
We're gonna put out basically a high quality original product that functions in today's world where it's like it ain't gonna break, fall apart.
Nice.
I would say the worst thing that can happen is the same thing happened back in the day. Is like your buddy steals them from you.
Kevin.
Let me jump in real fast.
You need to steal them back. It's like a community property.
Go ahead, Brandon.
Let me chime in though. To go back to what Kevin asked, we are going to do the first, I don't know the number quite yet, but we're going to do a very limited box set edition, okay, a special one. And those are going to be actually handmade by the original jig that he did. We're going to go through the exact process that the 13-year-old Steve Veltman in Texas did at his house. And we're going to film it and do the whole thing. So we're going to keep the first special edition box that you'll never use them, okay? They'll be a collectible, but we're going to actually make those to a T like he's going to make it by hand, just like we did, like he did many years ago.
Nice.
So, and then we'll have improvements on the new versions. We'll update them, and we'll have some special editions coming out. But I do want to make sure that's known. That man right there in that screen is going to go old school on it. He's got the jig. We hope to maybe put that in the museum or something. You know what I mean? Because that's such an important part of history of this. The fact that this young 13-year-old kid came up with this and did a six-figure business out of his house at such a young age, and made this really cool thing. It's just such a great story, It's entrepreneurship, creativity. It's a legend, a rock star legend, even at 12, 13, he already had those titles, you know. He was a rock star.
And the Wheaties box, man.
Absolutely.
Totally. That was what the hey Steve, when we started the trivia contest on here, you were one of the questions. Actually, two of the questions, right? Who set the world BMX, the world bunny hop record, and who was on the first Wheaties box? So that was kind of cool.
Yeah, man. Hey, so Steve, you being, I guess when Rad came out, you were probably, had to be about 16, right? 16, 17? Was
no,
there
Rad? I mean, what year did Rad come out? I mean, Rad was
80,
like
86?
86.
Was it 86?
Yeah.
So yeah, I would either have been 15 or 16. Yeah.
There was they never approached you to have you come on that movie?
You know, from what I remember, you know what I mean? Like, first off, I was kind of on my way out of BMX. You know what I mean? Like, when I was 15, I quit for 2 years and just went straight skateboarding. I skated for 2 years. I didn't come back until like I was like 17 and a half, almost 18. But I do remember kind of like the discussion because, you know, obviously before 19, you know, if it came out in 86, they were talking about, you know, people for it in 1985.
Right.
You know, and so like there was a buzz around and, you know, I remember talking to Mr. Hutch and like kind of saying like, so what's up? Like, you know, like I would like to be a part of this because like it was all right. I think at least at the time, from what I remember, like Tim Judd was already invited. You know, I mean, he's obviously a great, you know, smooth professional, right?
Yeah.
You know, I was kind of like, hey, you know, I'd like to throw my name in the hat, and if I remember correctly, it just maybe not even specifically words, but it was kind of like, hadn't things gone pretty good for you? You know what I mean? Like, aren't you still on the Wheaties box? You know, because I ran for a whole year.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? So it was like, you know, I mean, there's a lot of people that have been on the box that only went through a season. And
Right.
in fact, I got on for a year, and I got on for 2 different boxes. I got on the small and the large for a year.
Nice.
You know, I mean, it was just a dream situation. You know, I kind of let it go after that. After kind of Hutch was like, things have been like really good for you, bro. Like, I was like, yeah, all right, yeah, all right.
I kind of get the sense from that, Steve, he didn't want to sacrifice you from any sort of tour you might have been on at that time. Because I know, yeah.
Who knows?
Actually, I think that is the true story is that I actually have a podcast about Rad. It's called The Real, REEL, The Real 33. And I interviewed Mike Miranda maybe last year or this year, I don't remember. And I think he talks about the fact that there was something going on that Hutchins didn't want them to be on the movie because they were doing events. And I think, you know, memory serves me correct. Mike mentioned like, hey, I want to be part of this movie and go do something big, and I'll get you plenty of airtime. So I think there was some kind of tour going on that prevented them from being, you know, going to the actual set.
I think I seen that interview. I know what you're talking about. I know what you're talking about, man.
Yeah.
Hey, hey, Brandon, do you mind if I rattle a few questions to Steve really quick here?
Absolutely. Go ahead.
All right, Steve, this is cool. I thought of a few questions, man, and hopefully I don't offend you in any way. I'm going to try my best. All right, man. So you mentioned a few minutes ago you took a break. So around 86, 87, or you were gone for a couple years.
Yeah.
Yeah, so there was a notice. Your absence was noticed by like BMX fans like myself. What happened to Steve? You know, you just weren't popping up in the magazines like you were like in every other BMX action or whatever. So I noticed though in 1993, at this point I'm about 23 years old, and I was really watching a lot of the AVA races because they used to sell the video cassettes for the AVA Nationals at that time, and you were on an absolute tear, dude. Plus I was reading about you all the time. I think you rattled off more than 10 AA wins. You won the title that year, and
that was like 13 or 14.
Yeah, was it really?
Yeah.
No.
I reset the record that year.
Yeah, that was your pro career side, though. I'm talking about when you were. Yeah. So, dude, what was the difference in that year? where did it all come from? Because you were always great. Don't get me wrong, but you were like unbeatable for that one season. Where do you think that came from?
I know exactly where it came from. It was basically me just getting serious. You know what I'm saying? Like,
yeah,
I did almost, you know, even in my amateur career, I did most of this off of natural talent and regimented training. You know, sprint training, track training, blah 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 blah. Right? You know, I guess in my later, I did a little gym work, I guess, when I was on Hutch, but not like hardly any. And then later in my teens, when I was on Boss, I got introduced to, in '89, I got pretty much introduced through Cecil Johns. I mean, the great late Cecil Johns.
Right.
And, you know, I mean, everybody that knows is like, I'm pretty sure he was Mr. San Jose 2 years in a row in the natural light division. I mean, him and Terry used to train, Tanette used to train back in the day. Anyway, he just put me through he put me through a boot camp. I went and stayed up in NorCal for a month.
Yeah.
And like trained with him for a month, got a really good foundation. Like my first tear was like in '89. My whole thing was to turn pro as national #1 amateur. And then be the only other guy other than Richie that got it a couple times. It came down to the grands. I went in there a perfect score, went in the grands and, blew up in second place behind Kiyomi Waller and I believe like the semis or quarters.
Okay.
Yeah, I just rolled the pedal coming out of the second turn and it was over just like that, I mean, I turned a complete front flip, landed running with my bike and, you're still NASCAR. You know what I mean? Like you're not catching a national quarterfinal from doing a full tuck and roll.
Right.
You're not getting top four. So I basically, I ran about 20 feet and I was like, and I just remember thinking, well, we're turning pro. And then like I turned pro, I didn't really train that hard. When you first turn pro, I mean, if you're feeling good as an amateur or an amateur class turning pro, my class was pretty big, with a lot of the heads, especially within the last couple year or so of my class. But, we go in there and we almost want to prove a point. Like, like this is a whole new world coming in here, guys. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like a change of the guard type thing. And so you go in there pretty confident, you have some success, but then what you realize is the veteran guys that are winning all the titles are doing it every weekend. If I smoke somebody, 5 times in a season, and then they smoke me 10 to 15 times, that's a national title and I'm top 5 again.
Right.
So I did that. I basically did that for my first 2 years 2.5 years as a pro, 1990 to 92. And I noticed my number was going backwards. I think I was like, my first one, I was like national number 5, then number 6, then number like 9. I'm like, this is a wrong direction. I made a conscious decision that I go, you need to give yourself 1 year where you commit 100%. And that was 93.
Yeah, that was noticeable, dude. You were like, I remember watching your race going, God dang, that guy's fast. Like nobody was catching you, man, unless you crashed. I was like, he's like the man. And I was going to tell you, like, as far as your riding style is concerned, and I asked the similar question to Terry Tanette. I feel like you were very forward thinking with your riding style. Low seat, stretch back, power wheeling, speed jumping. I mean, do you agree with that? Or because I think a lot of today's riding is really inspired by guys like you back in the 90s.
I mean, that's, it's nice to think that. And, I would like to think that, what I was trying to do was to increase track speed and limit air time. and combine that with power, you know, and to do that, you know, a lot of the stuff is fairly aggressive, explosive movements, you know what I mean, opposed to just being explosive sprinting and then stop pedaling, you know, brace for a jump, absorb it, you know, and that's, you know, I would say in today's BMX, you have to have a combination of high level absorption of jumps and being able to, you know, manual speed jump, you know, and, you know, do some of those things of that nature, you know. I just know that, you know, if I do something in one way and it's a bike length faster, that you know, and then it just really boils down to consistency. Like, I mean, a lot of the, you know, I mean, there was guys that I'm pretty sure were not happy many a times in my career when I would pull up for, you know, a 7-foot triple step up, you know, because there's a percentage that it might not go right.
You're right.
And if they're next to me, sorry about that. You know, it's not going to be good for you either. You know, so there's a level of risk that comes along with it, and I was just willing to take it. I mean, I was too successful doing it than to not do it.
It's almost a little bit like if you think of Supercross, and in terms of James Stewart and like James Stewart is all out. I'm going to win or I'm going to crash or take you out with me. And I kind of get that sense from you a little bit, Steve, because like I've seen plenty of races where you got the snap, you're moving into the first turn, just blow up from all that horsepower. You know, do you think it was because of the geometry of the bikes, the way they were then? They were not, because you were riding kind of modern in the 80s and 90s. Do you think if you were on more of a longer frame, shorter frame, would it make any difference at all?
Yeah, I mean, your geometry clearly matters. I mean, I felt like when I was on Hutch and I was younger, I was just, you know, I felt like I was a very fluid rider. I was very loose on the bike. I could, you know, absorb things in funny directions. You know, that's where I got my initial nickname, Spider-Man, like way back in the day.
Okay, so he just took one of the trivia questions away. He just.
I didn't mean to throw off your camp there, but yeah, I'm just
That's
saying.
All right.
You know, I had that going on back then, and you know, moving forward, you know, when you're laying down power like that, or you're trying to pull up for things, you better have a very stable bike. So you have to have longer, you know, have to have longer rear ends.
Yeah.
The downside to that is that it is more pressure on your back. So you better have a higher level of core strength, you know, which, you know, I mean, that was probably my ultimate demise. As strong as I was, I didn't put enough real focus on clinical level core strength. And that's what ultimately blew my back out, which, you know, I feel compromised the next 10 years of my career, but I'm still happy the fact that I still had 10 years to, you know, manage it, work it out, and still have relative success. But I've never had anything
what's
like
impressive about that, Steve, is that you were at your peak in '93, and me as a fan of the sport, I feel like you could have outpowered any pro to the first turn. Did you have that confidence about yourself that I could beat anybody to the first turn? Or was there any pros that you felt you couldn't?
No. I mean, it was like, it basically was, I felt like I had better 0 to 60 than anybody. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And then if you add that to a first jump that's attackable and aggressive, that means I can continue to accelerate through the first jump instead of like pause and take off again. And so if you add that in with, you know, I've always been a good gate starter.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? So like you put all those together, I'm like, yeah, I'm beating you the first turn. I mean, there's a reason why. I mean, you can ask all my competitions, especially, you know, my pro years. I mean, probably not so much the amateur, but in my pro years, I never practiced out of any other lane but lane 8, ever.
Oh, really?
Ever.
Wow. So you're at home.
If you go in from lane 8, where do you need to practice out of any other lane?
Well, lane 8's the most difficult lane to win from, and that's virtually on any track.
If you're pulling from lane 8, do you need to practice out of any other lane?
That's probably the best answer I've ever heard.
I'm writing down mental notes as he's talking. Okay.
Yeah.
All right. If you want to go from a 9 to a 10, you got to train.
Right.
Mobility is not enough. I'm thinking, that's great, man. Yeah, absolutely. Just train from lane 8.
That's it, man. Train from lane 8, dude. That's going to be our motto now.
Was there ever? I mean, Danny, did you ever see a turn with a track with a first turn that's right-handed? Was there such a thing? I don't remember.
Well, I don't know. This lane 8's always been a disadvantage pretty much anywhere I can remember. I know that racing in Sonoma, California was a right-hand first turn.
Then lane 8 wouldn't be a problem, right?
Yeah, that's the only example I could kind of think of right now. But Steve has way more experience with way more different tracks.
Yeah. I mean, I've experienced. Hell, I raced a world championship with a right-hand first turn.
Right.
What was that? The worlds in, I think, 2000 worlds in Argentina.
Yeah.
Right-hand first turn. But I'm pretty sure lane 8 was then the opposite.
Dude.
Like flopped it.
Now that I think about it, Azusa NBO was right-hand first turn.
Yeah, so like lane 8's always the outside. They're not going to go like, oh, damn, good thing we got a right-handed track.
Yeah.
Lane 8.
What's cool, Steve, is you were at the super peak in '93, right? So let's fast forward 10 years, and now you're at the Vans Triple Crown on those first, nutty-ass supercross downhill tracks. And you were being super competitive. So was that like a huge jump for you mentally? Because I know you're on the tail end of your pro career, right? But you're still out there like mixing it up with these guys. What made you decide to do that? Because there were pros from that era that would not race the Triple Crown in fear of getting hurt, right?
Right.
But you were out there. So what made you decide to try that?
Well, I mean, I was all about it. I honestly was 100% all about it. The one thing I kind of wish I would have done is, like, I know when Magoo started it, he was hyped to have all the guys on it. And he was like, pretty pumped. He was like, yeah, you're going to get in there. And I'm like, yeah, for sure. And, for whatever reason, season-wise, but I didn't go to all of them. But I went to 2 out of 3 type thing. You know what I mean? For the first thing. But, I mean, as far as my confidence in that, I mean, I've always felt like I was I'm a little bit different build than a lot of the dudes. You know what I mean? Like, I was all about being aggressive, trying aggressive things on the track. I'm all about speed, and I'm old school. I mean, like, I love to, I love to go big. Like, if I'm jumping, I don't want to be jumping in, like, Bubba scrubbing, or, a 15, 20-foot gap, you know what I mean? If I could pull manual it or something.
Yeah.
But, the concept of bombing down a freaking mountain, I mean, it almost doesn't make sense. So it's almost like, because your bike is so unstable at that speed. A BMX bike was never designed to go, basically over like 30 miles an hour.
Right.
And you're pushing 40 and, 40 and above, depending on where and what.
Yeah.
But I felt surprisingly comfortable. You know what I mean? I mean, it was still gut check stuff. I mean, like, you had to be really focused. And I almost felt like I took advantages from that, because I could see in a lot of my normal national competition that there was like tension. Like, they were uncomfortable.
Yeah.
Like, really uncomfortable. Like, I mean, I'm not going to name names, but I mean, like, some dudes were just like, dude, and I was like, dude, I'll bump jump that thing, at 40. But, I mean, that's kind of the way I looked at it. But I mean, it's still so, it's so finite, you know what I mean? Like, slightest little mistake on that stuff, you're going down, or you're at the very least, you're not winning.
Right.
You know what I mean? Yeah. But I felt pretty good with that. Yeah. I mean, I think I ended up that first, Vans Triple Crown, I guess. I got 3rd in the series.
Yeah, I have it on DVD, and I'm like, damn, look at Steve's in there mixing it up, man. Oh, and I did it. Yeah. Go ahead, Steve.
are one of the questions about him setting the world record bunny hopping contest?
Wow.
Go for it.
No. Did you have? Is that one of your questions?
No, I saved that one for you, man. I sat here and go, okay, I got a chance to talk to Steve. I got about 10 good questions for him, man, I'm kind of all over the map. And sorry, Kevin,
No. I didn't want to step on your toes if you already had that question in the breach, dude. But dude, Steve, how did that whole thing happen? Where did it happen? You really took it from Lopes, and who took it from you when you finally lost it? How'd that whole thing happen?
Well, I mean, it was just, first off, I mean, that's just been one of my core things. Like, you know, when I was on Hutch, when I was 13 on Hutch, I was bunny hopping tennis courts, nets.
Yeah, I've done that.
Like on the high end, on the corner end. You know what I mean? Like,
yeah, I did the middle.
The saggy.
Yeah, no, I'm not doing the middle. That's when the dude that says he can do it. And then when you go out there and you guys do it together, he does it there, and you do it at the post.
Yeah.
Damn.
You know, so I'm just saying, like, that was always one of my things that, you know, in my repertoire. So I mean, obviously, as I got older and, you know, progressed and, you know, got stronger and stuff, you know, and then, you know, I mean, Lopes is an incredible rider, man. That guy can freaking ride anything, you know, and he's like, you know, I mean, he's hella flexible, strong, you know, and Lopes' freaking strength to weight ratio is freaking, you know, that's one of his greatest attributes. That dude's like, you know,
was this an organized event where it was advertised, if you want to set the record, come on? Or was this you and Brian at a national in the parking lot saying, let's see who can jump through bunny hop higher?
Brian's thing was like 100. That was like all him. Like I wasn't even anything a part of that. Like that was what he did. And then we had an event scheduled at Wheels in Motion Bike Shop. One of the bike shop, my local bike shop affiliation, set that up. I think it was like a GT Air Show was probably out there too. So it was like a bike show and exit, you know, and then obviously the bunny hop, you know, contest / record. You know, we brought out, you know, Guinness because, you know, you got to do that to make it official and stuff. So yeah, I made the rack. So I made it all pro. I actually had it to where it was like, I actually had like a mesh lining. So like as you brought it up in height, it still had, you know, you couldn't see through it.
Right.
You know, but I mean, it could breathe, but you couldn't, you know, I mean, it was, but it gave me a better sense of like getting up on like a, you know, a loading dock opposed to giant.
Oh, totally. I understand. Yeah.
And so, you know, and just after that point, just went as high as I could. You know, I maxed out at 46.
What was your record-setting height?
46.
46.
46 even.
Yeah.
That's damn near 4 feet.
Yeah.
Wow, dude, that's awesome.
That's nuts.
And then,
I think they're over. I think the young kids are over 50 now.
Yeah. Well, I mean, I got beaten like not even that much longer in my same era. You know, Tomas Allier beat mine.
Oh, did he?
Yeah, I mean, you know, he had the world record for. I don't know who's got the world record now, but like, you know, at some point it's like if somebody beats you like, you know, too quick, you won't even get in the book.
Oh, really?
You know what I'm saying? Because it's like, oh no, we don't, you know, we don't print every 5 seconds.
Yeah.
That answers my question. Thank you, Steve.
Oh, Steve, I got another one. Sorry, man. I'm gonna pick your brain for just a few minutes. All right. So the Answer Pro Forks, did you modify them to make them rigid, or did you ride them with the spring in it?
Oh, I rode those things with the plushest springs. No, man, I had those things locked out like they were cool.
Really?
Yeah, no, I had them locked out. I mean, basically, I mean, not like I had like steel put in there or some kind of, but I basically, you know, I don't know, I had some way that I could change the elastomers in there or double them up to the point where there literally was like almost zero movement to the fork.
Yeah, because I don't know if you know if you remember, Kevin, but Answer Pro Forks, they were shocks. in the front, right? And
Yeah.
like it was kind of the rage in the 90s. All the pros were riding them. And I go,
Yeah, I mean,
they look cool, but I never owned a set. But then I was reading later that a lot of them would make them rigid so they wouldn't move and things like that. And I was wondering if Steve did anything to his. Obviously, he just locked them out, right?
yeah. I mean, if you just take the science, I mean, honestly, it was cool looking. I mean, like, that was one of my coolest looking bikes. And why does it look cool? Because it looks more like a motorcycle, right?
Right.
So, I mean, I basically I had a set chromed out. So I had like chrome bottoms, chrome tops. You make them look good, right?
Yeah.
But the concept of, especially in BMX, because it's, you transfer so much of your G's onto your tires into a turn. You know what I mean? You're basically, you can take your BMX bike sideways or beyond, and still hold your grip real good if you're going fast enough, right?
Yeah.
The last thing you want is your front end to collapse. You know what I'm saying? I mean, like, there's no way I would charge into a corner at a national full speed, in a main event, and then let's see, call it an asphalt burn where you get max traction, right?
Yeah.
Try to be able to make my apex without being flipped over my bars if I had all that suspension, because you can't. It's just nah.
No. So was it a good contingency program for that to run those forks?
It was a great contingency program.
Yeah, there had to be a reason why you guys were running it.
They rewrote that. They rewrote that contingency program after my 93 season.
13, 14 wins. They're like, we can't afford this anymore.
Yeah, they were like, no, we're good.
That's crazy, man. I got one more question, Steve, and I don't know if you were involved with this, but I had seen this. There was this TV show in the 80s. It was called Super Kids, and it had Greg Liggins on there, and Greg was Factory Hutch. I don't know if you know Greg. You probably do, right?
Absolutely.
And, yeah, so Greg had, during the interview, Greg was riding a Patterson. Well, no, it was a Hutch with Patterson stickers on it. And he was riding, and they were interviewing him, and he mentioned something about a South Africa tour, and he said, I guess he protested going to South Africa, didn't race that race because apartheid was still a thing at that time, right? So did that impact you, Steve, at all? Were you part of that tour?
Absolutely. Check this out. All right.
Danny, you got some good ass questions, man.
Look at this.
Props, dude.
Thanks, dude.
You see that?
Yeah.
That is the South African tour.
Wow.
Me when I was 15. This is everybody. They gave us this whole collage. So this is all the races. You can see all the guys here. That's Monty and Billy Griggs came with us. We got Mike Buff. All the heads, Mr. Hutch, all that stuff.
Wow.
So no, that was one of the greatest experiences of my life. And I feel very fortunate that I got to see an environment that had apartheid. It's kind of like you got a chance to live it like it was here a long time ago, but in a safe way. You know what I mean? I had diplomatic immunity. Like, no one could mess with me, but it didn't stop the average person on the street looking at me like, what the, you know what I mean? Like, they're like, dude, what is he going in that hotel for? I had a lady try to get me kicked out of the hotel because I fell asleep in the couch in the lobby. Just like, it was wild. But you know what I mean? Like, I'm glad I got, and I was the only brother racing.
Right, because Greg bowed out, right?
This is a huge event, right? And of course, they ain't gonna have brothers from over there racing, right? And I was the only one that came over, so I felt like I had to represent.
There you go.
You know what I mean? Like, someone's got to do it.
When you decided I'm going to do this, and I mean, you're young. You're what, 13, 14, maybe 15?
I was like, it was 1984, so let's call it, 13, 14.
So how did your parents feel about you going into a hostile environment, being an African-American athlete going into South Africa?
They, they obviously, were cool parents. I mean, my history is I was adopted. So I was adopted when I was like 8 months old. So like, they came all about love, you know what I mean? Like,
yeah.
And gave me, obviously with the success I had, it had warranted me a certain amount of independence. And, they just had a grown-up conversation with me as like, this is what's really going on. You're grown enough. I mean, you've traveled the world. You've already been to Europe 3-4 times now and gone to all these places, you're grown enough to do this, but like, you need to know what's up. And so I accepted that. And I was like, cool, yeah, I'm down. Where do I sign? So they signed off. It was cool.
Wow. Man, thanks for answering that. I was afraid to ask it.
Danny, that's probably the best question you've ever asked. And you're the best interviewer in the business, man.
I try to be anyway.
Well, anyway, you got a little bit of trivia for us, Ben?
Sure.
All right. So yeah, thanks, Steve, for taking the time to talk to me about these questions, man. And I was like, I could have talked to you for 2 hours, dude. So I got.
Dude, hey, Steve, we're gonna dwell on these answers for the next 6 months, bro. We're gonna slice and dice them, and it's gonna be hilarious, man. We're gonna bore the hell out of people.
Yeah, I will say the last thing I'll say about Steve is like he was. I don't know, Steve. Maybe you're in your 30s at this point, still at the ABA Grand, still going at it. And because I do a lot of BMX race videos and reviews on my own channel, and I'm like, look at Steve's mixing it up. I was getting excited like it was happening now because you were still in there banging bars with those young cats at this point, because I'm about your age, so I'm like, yeah, let's go. I was getting super pumped up, because I don't have your athletic abilities. I got to live through your eyes a little bit.
Oh, that's what's up. No, I'm honestly, that is one of my, I rank that right up there with some of my biggest wins in my career, even though there was no title associated with it. But the fact that, I felt like when I went into the Grand, this is what, the 2000 Grands.
Right, 2000.
I was, by the time the Grands come around, so I'm 31. And, I feel okay going into the Grands, but like, I don't feel like I'm about to light these fools up, like light everybody up, I'm not feeling like that. But, I was feeling good, pretty good physically. And I felt like I was, on a pretty good strategy as far as keeping myself limber. And the track was starting to come around. In other words, it was like I felt like I was, I didn't ride the track that well in practice. In the early motos, I just felt like there were places on the track I was just giving up speed or not gaining it.
Right.
First straight was good, and I loved the first jump. So that was always like, always in the back of my head. Like I can get a pop, and if I can attack that first jump the way I want to, like. These fools might be in trouble in the first straight, but if you lose that speed around the whole track, they ain't gonna do nothing. So it just kind of came together. I mean, it was like I think in like the semi or quarters or semis or something like that. I got a good start, and I was like, oh shit, I just won it. I mean,
yeah.
And I remember hearing like going in the last turn, like Thomas Allier shoots off the track. Thomas Allier is not even gonna make it. I mean, I'm like, damn, like those guys are fighting back there, and I'm chilling. And so I got in the main, and like, first main, everything popped off. Great first straight, and I'm like, I might as well just take this in the first turn. So I took a couple extra pedals. I got McPherson going in the first turn. Yeah. Took that for the win. The second main, things were good. I didn't quite make it to the first turn first, but it was like top three. I managed top three. So like by the time we were getting the third main, it's like, I got 4 points, McPherson's got 4 points, and Boots has 4 points. But McPherson and Boots are shooting for the title. And I'm just like this dude trying to spoil it.
Yeah.
And so, like I said, another one of my classic lane 8.
Dude, I got to tell you, Kevin, I have to find the video. It's somewhere in my channel, but I was getting excited. I'm like, Steve, let's go. Because, he's like still the dude to beat in a whole different era of racers, man. You know what I'm saying? I'm like, holy shit, this guy's still in there, man. Yeah, that's pretty awesome, Steve.
Hey, Steve, if you watch, for anybody that watches Danny's channel, dude, I told him before, dude, he absolutely loves doing races, man. And he can cite race coverage and racers and who won and who rides for. So all this, what he's saying right now, he's not exaggerating. He loves this shit.
Yeah, it was pretty awesome. All right, man. So
Brandon, are you going to join us for trivia, bro?
I can. I doubt I can hang with you guys, but I'll try.
All right. Let's do this thing, man. Sorry, Brandon, we kind of put you on the shelf for a minute.
I'm enjoying listening.
All right.
Yeah,
all right,
so
so
I need to work on better lighting, man. I feel like my lighting's so bad now. I look like I'm in like a witness
I
protection.
know, it looks like you're in a witness protection program, dude.
Yeah, I just said that.
I was going to ask about that chair, Steve. Though, what's up that office chair? I've never seen a striped chair like that, dude.
Oh no, that's a little shawl on the back. You like that?
A little shawl.
Yeah, dude.
The shawl's a little blanket. It's not a Brandon shawl.
I got you.
It's just a little something. Hey, I've had this chair for a long time. You don't want to see the crusty hole without that thing. No.
All right, let me get a scoreboard ready for us, guys. So we got Kevin.
I forgot what my record is, dude. It's not that great.
Yeah. And I'm not, obviously, I'm just asking the questions. Okay, gentlemen, this is how it works. It's really, really simple, man. We have two categories. We have BMX and pop culture. All the pop culture questions are 1980s related. So what's going to happen is we're just going to go around the horn here. Like we'll start off with Steve, go to Brandon, back to Kevin. So if you miss the question, Steve, Brandon can steal it. And then if Kevin misses, you can steal his, and whoever gets the most points wins. Pretty simple.
Okay.
Nice.
All right. We've been keeping track of the points, and we got a little bit away from the trivia because we just weren't getting that many guests. And me and Kevin were just continuing to knock out shows. So anyway, we're ready to roll this time.
We're ready to roll. So Hall of Famers going on.
Yeah.
Go ahead,
all right, let's go. So we're going to start off.
Random start.
All right, so Steve, do you want to do a pop culture question, or do you want to try a BMX question to get us started?
Let's just start out with some BMX.
All right, we'll start off with BMX. Okay, this is an easy one. They're going to start off very easy. So this is a product, Blank Recreation. What is the company?
Blank Recreation. Damn. I don't know. That's not really. You said this is easy?
It's easy.
I don't know. Maybe I'm just not seeing it. I'm not good at quizzes or trivia. Blank Recreation.
What do you see behind me, Steve?
I think I know this one.
I'm trying to get out of the frame. What do you see behind me, Steve?
Man, I don't know, man. I'm looking at you on my cell phone. I can barely see anything back there, but
That's
a
you.
BMX bike.
All right, so that's a miss for Steve. Do you want to steal that, Brad? Or I'm sorry, Brandon?
It's Skyway.
Skyway Recreation.
Oh,
So
okay.
all right. Okay, so we got the first one here. And
I
that
knew
one's
it before the hint, by the way. I'm pretty proud of that. I knew it before the hint.
Jesus.
All
I
right.
just know it is Skyway. But
Yeah,
technically it is Skyway Recreation. By the
There
way,
you
they
go.
never said that. In a race, no one ever said the recreation part. Ever.
Never.
You know what I'm saying? They didn't go, man, for Skyway Recreation, it's Skyway.
Yeah.
Just so you know.
I couldn't say Blank Tough Wheels because then Kevin would be making fun of me later. He's like, man, you make these softball questions. All right. Okay, so it's Brandon's turns, and Brandon, you got so Brandon's got the whole shot. So
I'll do
Brandon, BMX. All right.
They're
19
easier at first, right?
All right. This one, let's see. 1986. A mail order company, First Class BMX, listed the GT Pro frame and fork for what price? Now I'm going to give you three options, okay? It went for $129.95, $139.95, or $149.95.
I'm going to go 139.95.
Oh, that's a miss, Kevin. What do you think?
What year? 86?
1986.
129.
129.95 is the correct answer. So, Kevin, you're on the board.
Okay.
All right. And it's your turn, my man.
I'm taking pop culture.
Pop culture. Who was the queen of pop in the 1980s? The queen of pop in the 1980s.
Queen of pop?
That's
Madonna.
Madonna. Yeah, look at that. Yo, guys, Kevin usually doesn't start off this quick.
What's funny is I was thinking that she's just too slutty to be a queen of pop. But
Yeah, but Kevin kills it on pop culture. Right? He hardly ever misses those. All right, so Steve, it's back to you. What do you think?
Oh, yeah, we'll go pop culture.
Oh, pop culture. Okay. What was the first rap song to rank in the top 40 chart?
First top 40.
Early 80s.
is this a racist question?
No, it's not a racist question.
You don't have to answer, Steve. You don't want to.
I'm trying to think, man. I mean, damn, it's going way back.
Way back.
In the 80s, the first.
I think I know it.
Yeah.
I'm not sure. I can't call it.
Okay, what do you think? What do you think, Brandon?
Well, doesn't he said it first? Doesn't Kevin get to steal it?
He said he didn't know it. Steve didn't know it.
Okay, I'm gonna go with let's see, by Run DMC. Tricky.
This way.
You didn't go back far enough, so we're gonna stop right there.
Whoa.
You want to try to steal it?
I got it, man. It's Walk This Way.
No, man. The very first rap song to make it to the top 40 chart was Rapper's Delight by the Sugar Hill Gang. So that's way back.
Hold on, wait. See, so you were saying early 80s. Wasn't that in the 70s?
No, man, that's an 80s pop question, so I looked it up myself.
Probably 82 or something, 81, something like that.
Could have been 80, 81, yeah. It was way back.
I could have said Rappin' Duke.
I don't even know that one. So.
Anyway.
All right, so we're actually, Brandon tried to steal it. He didn't steal it, so Brandon, it's still your turn. What do you want to do?
Let's go back to the BMX.
BMX. What factory elf rider went by Blaze?
Todd Laser, I don't know.
Todd Laser, you're right, man. Be confident. You got two, my man. All right, you got it. Good job. Okay, Kevin.
BMX.
Who made the Viper?
That's too easy.
Diamondback.
Diamondback. I got a bonus question for you on that one.
Okay.
The Diamondback Viper sold for over or under $200?
Under.
Under. You got another point. That was $129.90. No. That one went for $189.
How much?
$189.
Man, that's like a slow coach pitch question.
Hey, I've been the victim of the same thing, Brandon. Trust me.
All right. What do you think, Steve? What do you want to do?
Let's go BMX.
BMX. Okay. Who is considered the king of the skate parks?
Back in the day?
Yeah, back in the day, 80s.
I got it.
There you go, Fiola. You're on the board, Steve. All right. Bonus question, Steve. What was his factory team?
Fiola's factory team. Oh my God, what is this? Fiola. The Torker?
Oh, he did ride a Torker, but he was factory. What do you think, Brandon?
GT.
Factory GT. All right. Hey, Brandon's pretty good at this, man. Steve, you got one. You're on the board, my man.
That's good, right?
All right.
You're in the main.
Okay, Brandon, what do you want to do?
What are the categories? Pop culture or BMX?
Yep, that's it.
Let's go. Let's try the pop culture.
Steve Perry was the front man for what band?
I want to say Journey, but hold on. Steve Perry, Journey? Yeah, Journey, right?
There you go. It's Journey. Don't think out loud, dude.
Now, Brandon, you got your underhand slow pitch question.
Yeah, there you go. Now, now the pop culture ones, I looked those up online, so I don't. All right, so that's not bad. Okay, so we got a tie score right now as we're going around again. Brandon 4, Kevin 4, Steve with 2. So Steve's got to make up some ground, but Steve's got a lot of last straight pull, so he can do it.
Yep, that's what I'm worried about.
All right, pop culture. Okay, which artist had the most #1 singles in the 1980s?
Michael Jackson.
Michael Jackson. All right, another one for Kevin's not playing today.
Brandon's not ready to have a heart attack right now, dude.
I got the gloves and the jacket in my closet right over here. Love mine.
All right, Steve, what do you want to do?
BMX.
BMX, back to BMX. All right. Let's see. What free agent pro went by the name Cowboy?
Slavic.
There you go, Steve. All right. Steve's on the board.
You had to hesitate on Veltman? My goodness, that was easy. That was a layup also. That was an easy one.
I mean, that was definitely, that might be a gimme.
You never know.
I do know Slavic pretty well.
Just a slow response. That's all I'm saying.
Hey, he had to take a drink. He was just trying to be cool.
He's part.
All right, Brandon, back to you.
Charge up.
We'll do pop culture.
Pop culture. 1984 hit Jump was performed by what band?
Well, there's the Van Halen, but
There you go.
it could also Chris Cross. Oh, they're a little later though. But yeah,
Van Halen is the correct answer. Don't think out loud, Brandon, because you can give the answer away if you guess wrong.
Or you can say the Pointer Sisters.
All right, we're looking good. We're tied up at 5 each, and Steve picking it up with 2. Steve's on the bubble. What do you think, Kevin? What do you want to do?
BMX.
BMX. Let's see. In the movie, what does the movie Urban Cowboy and the ABA have in common?
I know.
Tough question.
Okay, repeat that.
What does the ABA and the movie Urban Cowboy have in common?
They were both filmed they both occurred in a cow pasture ring thing.
Can I steal?
Gotta steal it, Steve. Go ahead, Steve.
Can I steal?
Yeah.
Yep.
Oh. They both had events inside Gillies.
Bing, Gillies. There you go. Yeah. Yeah, they were
inside Gillies.
There's
yep,
Gillies.
And Urban Cowboy was filmed inside Gillies.
Yeah.
Yeah, it was the Gillies National in Pasadena, Texas. ABA, Gillies National.
Yeah,
and that's where you did, Steve?
Yeah, Monty won.
Right on. Right on. All right, good answer. That was a tougher question. Okay, and then we're back to Brandon. What do you want to do?
Steve's question.
Oh, Steve stole. Okay, Steve, so it's still you. You can make up some ground. What do you want to do?
Let's go pop culture.
Oh, he's running. He's rolling the dice with pop culture.
He's rolling the Rad Kaps, dude.
Okay, all right, let's see. The Wet Bandits came from what movie?
What?
There was the Wet Bandits. They were a character in a pretty mainstream Christmas movie. The Wet Bandits came from what movie?
I knew I should have gone BMX.
I got this one.
Wet Bandits. No. I didn't see that Christmas movie.
I know you did, Steve. You're just not remembering it. Okay, what do you think, Brandon?
I want to say the one with, I can't think out loud, but I don't know, Dirty Santa.
Oh, what did he say?
The Dirty Santa one, I remember.
No, not Dirty Santa. Kevin, what do you think?
Home Alone.
Home Alone. Yeah, the Wet Bandits. That was what was his name? Pesci, Joe Pesci, and the other character,
Daniel something.
Yeah, they were like, we call ourselves the Wet Bandits, and they would leave the water running when they would rob the house.
Nice.
All right. All right. So let's see. It's back. It's Brandon's turn still, right?
Yeah.
Okay. What do you think, Brandon?
Go be. Now, how come I don't get a bonus question like Kevin got earlier? I'm the easiest question so far. Go ahead.
Yeah. What do you want? Okay, you want to do which category? I'm sorry.
BMX, an easy one, please.
Who is known as the Big Daddy?
Eric Root.
Eric Root. There you go, man. You got your easy one. Okay. Going back to Kevin, what do you think?
BMX.
Okay, name the NorCal Pro that raced for Boss, GT, MCS, and Vans.
I know it.
I'm sorry, what was that?
Northern California BMX Pro
Okay.
that raced for Boss, GT, MCS, and Vans.
Oh, wow. I think I'm stumped. MCS. God, I can't. NorCal. Terry Tennant.
Good guess, dude. Because I can see Steve knew the answer, dude. He's like, just give it to me. I already know. All right, Terry Tennant. That's the winner. All right, we're moving on. Oh, speaking of which, Steve, I'd interviewed Terry about a year ago, and I asked him, who did you model your riding style off of? And he said, if I had to say anybody, I would have said Steve Veltman. So that's another kudos to you right there.
There you go.
All right. Okay, moving on. What do you want to do there, Steve? You want to do BMX or pop culture?
We'll go BMX.
All right. Well, this was the Spider-Man question, so I can't ask that one. I said what BMX pro went by Spider-Man. All right, so I'll give you another one. Okay. Justin Green and Matt Hayden were teammates on what factory team?
I got it.
Diamondback.
Diamondback. Good one. All right. Okay, moving on. Okay, that's cool because now Kevin's got the lead at 7. Steve's coming up quick with 4, and Brandon's got 6, and it's Brandon's turn.
Yep.
Hey, by the way, weren't they also on Bandito together?
Very possible. Yeah, I think you're right. Yeah.
Maybe not at the exact same time. I think they both did Bandito.
Man, I didn't even know that one.
What are we playing to?
We have 2 BMX questions left, and we have 4 pop culture left. So we're coming down, and we got 6 questions left.
All right. I'll do. Is it my turn?
Yeah.
I'll do BMX.
Okay. Auburns were made from chromoly, aluminum, or both?
God almighty, I literally just was in a shop of one just nuts. Chromoly, aluminum, both. I'm going to say with both the separate front and back end. Yeah, I'm going to say both.
Both is the correct answer. The rear was aluminum, front's chromoly. Good job, man. All right. Okay, so that ties Kevin. Okay, Kevin.
Pop culture.
The first movie to get a PG-13 rating, I'm going to give you part of the title, Blank Dawn.
Red Dawn.
Red Dawn. Good job, my man. Okay, and just so you guys know, I don't practice with Kevin. He's just pretty good at pop culture. All right, Steve, what do you want to do?
Let's see. There's you said there's only one BMX left, huh?
We got 1 BMX left. That's it, my man. You want to take it?
Yeah, I might as well.
What factory team was a spin-off of CW?
Spin-off of CW?
Mm-hmm.
RevCore?
RevCore. There you go, my man. Steve's got 5. Okay, guys, we're down to this just pop culture now. I would have gave.
Now we're in the pro main.
Yeah, we're at. Kevin's got the lead at 8. Steve's sitting good at 5. Brandon's at 7, and we're going to Brandon again, right?
Yeah.
All right, Brandon, you ready?
Yeah.
All right, here we go. If you build it, they will come. What movie did that come from?
Field of Dreams.
Field of Dreams, easy one. He said that like, Field of Dreams.
You own that answer, man.
All right, Kevin, you ready?
Yeah.
What NBA team won 5 championships in the 1980s?
The Chicago Bulls.
Oh, Steve, what do you think?
What's that?
What?
Say it one more time.
What NBA team won 5 championships in the 1980s? We are such BMXers, man.
I know what it is now.
You know it's not the Bulls
Celtics.
because. Oh, that was close, but not correct. What do you
LA?
think? What do you think, Brandon? Oh, wait.
What did he say? Celtics? Did he say Celtics?
Yeah,
It'd be Lakers then.
it would be the Lakers.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying, man. If it ain't them,
Yeah, Steve gave it. He was like, LA. I'm like, wait, Steve, don't say it.
I had it anyway. Go ahead.
All right. So let's see. We got one question left going to our host. Let's see.
No, it's Brandon's question.
Oh, Brandon's question. It's a video game question. Brandon, are you ready?
Not really. Nah. Yeah, go ahead. Go ahead.
Yeah. In the Nintendo video game Punch-Out, who is the final character you have to fight?
Oh, Jesus Christ.
I know this.
I never played it, man. I know Mike Tyson's involved in it, but I thought Mike Tyson was a character. I guess Mike Tyson.
It's Mike Tyson. Brandon wins.
Wait, he got me?
Yeah, he got you, dude, because if he would have missed, you could have tied him. Because he was sitting 8, you're sitting 8.
Man.
Yeah. Well, he was sitting 9, you were sitting 8. You could have tied him.
Oh, wow.
That was awesome. All right, so Brandon gets the, 20 points for first?
20 points for first. He's
and then Steve's going to pick up the 10 on the battle chart. So, Steve, we got a point system for this, so you get the 10. So, that's not bad. Kevin can't score.
that was
What does it mean?
Thank you very much, gentlemen. That was a virtual handshake, dude. Thank you very much, guys. I appreciate it.
Yeah, that was fun, man. I enjoy watching y'all do this, and I'm glad I won too. I'm competitive. I was actually fuming that I didn't get a bonus question like he got a while ago, especially on the Diamondback of all things.
Brandon's still bitching, and he won.
Yeah, I'm a poor loser. And I'm a worse winner.
Well, dude, I guess the $1 million question is, when can people expect to see a Rad Cap on the market?
Spoke Folk will have something there that's a limited thing at that event. The first time you can buy one will be at Spoke Folk, October 11th.
Okay.
You can go to spokefolkfest.com, just spokefolkfest.com, and by the time this gets up on the air, all the information will be on there. So I'm assuming this is probably like 4 or 5 days out for y'all to post this up. I don't know.
Got it, man. Got it.
That'll be it.
Any more questions for these gentlemen, Danny?
No, I just want to thank them for their time, man. It's a holiday, and they spent almost an hour and a half with us, man. So I really, really appreciate it. Brandon, it was an excellent meeting you, and thank you so much for sharing all your event information. Sounds like an outstanding event. And Steve, man, it was an honor, man, having a chance to sit down and rattle some questions off to you, man. And thank you for being being a gentleman and answering everything. I certainly appreciate it.
Hey, before we go, you guys understand you'll have an invite to come out to Spoke Folk and be there and broadcast all that, of course. I mean, I know it's hard to get to from California, but airlines come to see us. Y'all should come see us also.
You got to. We're going to need a booth, Kevin.
we got tents you can borrow, no problem.
Oh, nice, dude, nice. Well,
definitely talk about it.
Steve, I would be remiss if I didn't invite you back on prematurely. If you ever want to go over your early days. I know that I would enjoy it, and I know Danny would definitely enjoy firing some more questions at you. But thank you so much, both you gentlemen, for joining us. It's been a pleasure.
Yeah, I think you guys.
Thank you very much, guys. Have a great night, and I appreciate you sticking with us till the second moto.
Awesome.
That's what we do.
All right, guys. We're going to say goodbye. Appreciate it.
Appreciate it.
All right, Kevin. That was epic, dude.
Dude, man, you were on point tonight, bro. I give you props, man. Did you research all that in the meantime, or did you know all off the top of your head?
I just already knew it. I was sitting on my couch writing down the questions when you called me.
Dude, that's awesome, man. And two great guys, and Brandon was the dark horse, dude. I thought I could handle him, but apparently not.
Yeah, he came on pretty strong. I think what the mistake Steve made is he went to pop culture too many times. He should have stayed on BMX because he was getting those questions right.
Yeah. And I don't like the Terry Tennant question was I totally pulled that one out of my ass, dude.
Dude, you nailed it though, man. I was like, I knew Steve knew it, and he was sitting there going, I know it, you know.
Yeah. Well, dude, let's wrap this thing up for the night. And I didn't ask you when we can release this video. I should ask him that.
Oh yeah. It's I know you've got a couple holding right now. We just did one this morning. But
no, this one's going to the front of the line, bro. I'm gonna cut this one. I'm gonna cut this in front of the line.
Yeah.
If it's okay with them. I don't know when he wants to let it out. But let everybody know what you do when you're not with me, bro. Now's the time.
All right. I have my own YouTube channel, of course, Danny Pena BMX Racing. We do a lot of BMX magazine reviews, race reviews, all old school BMX. I do mix in some modern racing as well. I love talking about BMX in general. I don't care what era you're from. Please come watch, like, and subscribe.
Nice, dude. And
all I got.
Once again, we would love to talk to somebody. If you would like to come on the show, please reach out to either one of us. If you have questions, concerns, comments, please don't hesitate to give us a call or, I don't know if you got my phone number, call me. But if you want to send us an email or a text or whatever the case may be, we appreciate it. If you'd like to support the channel, go to BMXPERTSPodcast.com. You can subscribe there, or you can subscribe here. You could grab a shirt, a hat, such as this and such as this. And you can watch previous episodes on the website as well. And as always, Danny and I appreciate everybody taking the time to watch this video. And from that point forward, the snack bar is closed. We're loading up the bikes. And until next week, the track is now officially closed. Thank you very much, everybody. Peace out, man.